Got to give the people what they want. And the people want 4.3, part 3, secant, cosecant, and cotangent, and missing sides. We're about to get all this in right here. But I think y'all are going to do fine. Y'all did really well with the missing angles. Now we're going to holler at these missing sides. Okay. So first of all, what is cosecant? Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. Reciprocal means it's the flip of sine. Flip the fraction. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, and cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So the thing to remember is that it's important cosecant connected to sine, secant connected to cosine, and cotangent obviously connected to tangent. So that's the piece that you're going to have to remember or make sure that you have in a toolkit when we get to that time. So let's go ahead and do a problem. Let's go ahead and do a problem here. Okay, so I thought I'd written some more notes, but I didn't because I was like, we're just going to do it. All right, let's get it done. So this is saying find the cotangent of theta. So theta is my reference angle. So like always, I'm going to start by, I'm going to label this triangle so we know that this is the hypotenuse because it's across from the 90 degree. This is theta, this is adjacent, okay? So I'm also going to look at SOHCAHTOA. And now, cotangent, that's what this means. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So tangent says I need the opposite over the adjacent. So cotangent of theta says I need the adjacent over the opposite. Hopefully that makes sense. I just took tangent and I flipped it. Okay? So cotangent of theta means adjacent over opposite. So what do I have? I know the adjacent. So the cotangent of theta equals the adjacent, which is 20, over the opposite. I don't know that. So I need to figure out what is that angle. So I know that a squared, 20 squared, plus b squared, the thing that I don't know, equals c squared. Remember, c always has to be the hypotenuse. So 20 root 2 squared. I'm trying to solve for what the opposite angle is. So 20 squared is 400 plus b squared equals 20 root 2 times 20 root 2. Well, 20 times 20 is 400. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. And 400 times 2 is 800. So now I'm going to keep solving. This is just algebra. You all can do this. Minus 400 minus 400. B squared equals 400. How do I figure out what B is? Oh, square root. B equals 20. So the opposite side is 20. So going back, it says cotangent. It told me take the adjacent over the opposite. Well, the adjacent was 20 and the opposite of 20. So the cotangent of theta is 20 over 20, which is 1. Boom, boom, boom. Now, let's run one more. Let's find the cosecant of theta. So why don't you actually try it now before me? I think you can do this. Cool. You paused. You did it. So now I'm going to do it. SOHCAHTOA. This is this. So this is my hypotenuse. My reference angle is here. This is adjacent. And this is opposite. So I don't know the opposite. I need the cosecant. What is cosecant connected to? Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So sine says opposite over hypotenuse. So cosecant of theta is going to say hypotenuse over opposite because it's just the reciprocal of sine. Look at that. I don't know the opposite, so I'm going to have to figure it out. So far, I know that the cosecant of theta is the hypotenuse, which is 7, over the opposite, which I don't know. So let's figure it out. So let's see. We'll call this one a squared. We'll call this one b squared. So 2 root 10 squared equals c squared, which is the hypotenuse, 7 squared. So let's see. A squared plus what is 2 root 10 times 2 root 10, 4 times 10, which is 40, equals 49. Go ahead and keep solving. A squared equals 9. Ooh, look at that. Square root, square root. A equals 3. So I just learned that this opposite side is 3. So hypotenuse was 7, and the opposite was 3. So the cosecant is 7 over 3. Whew. Boom, bang, bow. All right. Next one. Finding sides when you only have one side and an angle. So now we're looking for side lengths when sides are missing. All right, so if you're going to do this, 1, you're going to find your reference angle and label the triangle. We always do that. 2, you're going to decide which trig ratio is going to be useful. We always do that. 3, you're just going to set up an equation and solve. We always do that. It's the same thing, just using a little bit of knowledge that we have. Okay, so, ooh, I cheated. Y'all saw the answer, whatever. Draw this. Okay? So now you've drawn it, and they're asking me to find the length of side X. Okay, so I'm going to take what I have. I have a reference angle of 62. X is the hypotenuse, and I have an adjacent. Okay, so I'm going to think right now, well, what trig ratio uses an adjacent and a hypotenuse? Cosine. So I'm going to go the cosine of 62 degrees equals adjacent 4 over hypotenuse, x. All right? So we just did that. Now I just need to solve for x. Well, I can do that, but here's the thing. The cosine of 62, my calculator can tell me what that's supposed to be. So go ahead and put that in your calculator, cosine of 62. And I think you should get like 0.46. And let me just double. This is probably 0.47. 469. We'll call it 0.47 equals, I'm just going to double check that one. Cosine 62. Cosine 62. Yep. So 0.47 should equal 4 over x. Well, now you just got to solve for x. And we've talked about this. How do I get x out of the denominator? Multiply. This is 4 divided by x, so I need to multiply by x. Multiply by x. I end up with 4 equals 0.47x. Divide by 0.47. Divide by 0.47. X equals, let's see, clear, 4 divided by 0.47, about 8.51. So if this one is 4, this one is about 8.51 units, whatever the unit is. All right, last one. Try this one on your own. Try number 7. Find this missing side. Go ahead and pause it. Get it done. You did it. Now check to see if you did it right. All right? So let's see. I'm going to go SOHCAHTOA. I'm going to find my reference angle was right here at 24 degrees. So I'm going to say if this is the opposite, this is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent. So I know the hypotenuse and the opposite. So I'm thinking opposite hypotenuse. I'm thinking sine. So I'm going to say that the sine of 24 degrees should equal the opposite, x over the hypotenuse, 13.7. And this one's easier to solve. Again, I can calculate what is the sine of 24. So let's see. Sine of 24 degrees is 0.406. So 0.406 equals x over 13.7. And finish solving it. Times 13.7 times 13.7. 13.7 times 0.406, and I end up with x equals 5.562. So this would be a side of 5.562. Boom, bang, bill. That's what you got to do. See y'all next class. We get it done. Mr. Bass, I'm out.